You can say that again. What brings you to Poisson? Wait, Paimon's got it. You must be...
Actually, we've run into a bit of trouble on the home front, so Father arranged for us to stay in Poisson for the time being.
Oh, are Lynette and Fremine here too?
Yep, along with most of the other members of the House of the Hearth. You may have noticed Poisson seems a bit more crowded than usual.
So you're saying nearly the entire organization has moved to Poisson? Sounds like you've run into way more than just a bit of trouble. What's really going on?
Since the two of you are so curious, perhaps I can fill in the gaps.
You scared Paimon half to death!
Father, you're here.
You know... on second thought, maybe we...
No need to be nervous. I could sense your genuine concern from your conversation just now. Of course. I can also understand your confusion. Sending so many Fatui here to Poisson, it's only natural that some might suspect. I understand. I'm well aware you've had your fair share of confrontations with the Fatui in the past, and I can't exactly guarantee that we'll remain on good terms in the future. As for right now, however, I would say we have little reason to be at odds, wouldn't you agree? The House. As for the issue at hand, well, it hardly relates to any ulterior motive. To be frank, it all stems from a certain rumor circulating around the House of the Hearth.
What sort of rumor?
A rumor that a certain phantom child is hiding away in the House of the Hearth.
A phantom child?
A spirit that should have long ceased to exist is lurking in the shadows of the House of the Hearth. So I decided to bring the children to Poisson before continuing to investigate the situation. I expect I should be able to track down the spirit fairly quickly. If you're curious, or if you still have some concerns, it might be advisable to stick around for a few days. Lenny, I'll leave you to entertain our guests. I have some matters to attend to.
Of course, Father. It has long been a dream of mine to invite you to our home and introduce you to my other sibling. You're quite well known in the organization already. A lot of people have been talking about you. If you're willing, why don't you stay a while and have a little chat with us?
All right. We don't have anything else to do right now anyway, but let's...
Of course. During our stay in Poisson, we've been helping out the locals with some fishing. We bring in quite the bounty every day. In fact, today is the perfect chance for me to show... Let's go. I'll take you to where we're staying.
Boss, you're back! Traveler and Paimon, welcome back to Poisson.
Oh, hey! Fancy seeing you again, Florent. Is it your turn to take care of Navia now?
Hey, I can totally take care of myself. For the time being, I'll go around without any attendance. We did hand over some of Malus's old responsibilities to Florent, though.
Thank you for the compliment, boss. As you see, I've been working closely. Mr. Malus was an extremely capable and respected member of the Spina. I've got some really big shoes to fill.
All right. There's no need to be so formal. Everyone's practically old friends by now. Were you waiting here for me? Did we manage to make any progress on the statue?
Yeah, we contacted a sculptor about the job, but they can't get started on sourcing a correctly sized block without knowing the design that we want to use first.
You're commissioning a statue?
So basically, we've been meaning to commission a statue of my parents in commemorate, but since my father was known as callously unfaithful for the longest time, but now that his name has been cleared, and the town is also being rebuilt, I thought this would be the perfect chance to actually realize this dream.
The funds to build the statue were freely donated by the people of Poisson to show their appreciation for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus and everything they did.
Me? I'm just the newbie president that's running around and causing everyone trouble. Maybe we can have this conversation again in a few decades, once I've done more for the town and the people.
Hey, there's no need to be so humble. Didn't you just help save the entire country?
I agree wholeheartedly.
Hey, if you keep inflating my ego like this, I might just float off into the sky with my parasol. Just kidding. There's no way that I'd accept that kind of compliment at face value. At a minimum, I'd have to match what my father did for the people. Thanks for the vote of confidence. I just don't think I'm ready yet. Anyway, Florent, now it's up to us to confirm the final design, right?
We can ask the sculptor to start looking for a good block once we've decided on the poses for Miss Clementine and Mr. Callus, but we haven't had any real discussions yet on the possible designs. I feel like I should get a few
There's no... Hey, you! Come over here with me. Modeling a few poses, of course. Here, just pretend to be Callus, and I'll be Clementine. Didn't you say on the boat that Callus and Clementine sounded like great partners? Well, then there's no one better to fill this role than my most valuable partner. Florent, let's grab some
You've got it, boss. I'll go get the camera.
Well, what do you think? Got any ideas? Well, I've actually discussed it a bit with Florent before, but I could never come up with any fresh or original ideas. It's probably... So, I want to pick your brain for a bit, and see if you can...
I'm all good here, boss. Feel free to start posing whenever.
A happy pose? You mean...
With all that...
Would we even be able to tell what they are supposed to be laughing about?
Yeah, and that'd probably be a massive pain to sculpt as well.
Could one of you try striking a pose? That actually sounds pretty hard to pull off. Forget it, let's try something else.
By that, do you mean as if we were standing on a boat and looking out at the sea? Sure, let's give that a try.
Whoa, you really remind Paimon of... Look over there, my dear Clementine. As you can see, every tree on that island is dripping with mora fruit.
But there's something off with the
Oh, I see what you mean. Then let's swap.
Well, Paimon is a fan.
Wait, but we can't do that. Very few people...
But then, since we're putting it in the town, the whole point of the pose would be lost.
Oh, okay. We'll try to think of something else.
Imposing, huh? Oh, I've got it. Let's try this.
This pose! It makes me recall Sfina di Rosula's glorious golden...
But isn't Clementine's pose a bit too bold and heroic? If we were to stick with this pose, maybe people would wonder if...
Well, tabloids did indeed speculate as much back in the day, but the Sfina pulled a few strings and...
Oh, Paimon was just kidding! Please don't make...
What Florent meant... You're right, though, that this may not accurately represent the image of her in our heart. Oh, don't worry. We still got a lot of reference shots out of the session, and each of them can be considered to be a souvenir in their own right. Let's just keep the ideas we tried as backups. Man, if I knew I was going to do a photo shoot with the Traveler, I would have prepared a lot of outfits and props ahead of time. Oh, outfits! Oh, that's the errand I forgot back in the city.
Oh, Paimon remembers her. She was the one that we met while investigating Mr. Callus's case.
Yes, that's exactly who I'm talking about. I said that it's fine, but young children are not allowed to join the Spina. She will... But how could I get her to But
Don't worry, boss. I can send someone to pick it up right away.
On the matter of the statue, we should still come up with a few more ideas for the design. I'll have to trouble you to source some for me.
We could have just done that from the start. Yeah, you're right. They'll have some value as souvenirs at least.
Navia! Florent, guess who's back?
Huh?
Oh, well, if it isn't Coulter. Back already from the Fortress of Meripede?
That's right. I finally finished serving my time. Gotta say, turns out I was a lot tougher than I thought. After I got out, I immediately made a beeline back to Poisson. You could say that familiar You wouldn't believe how much I've missed Melissa's grilled fish. I dreamed about it every time I had to get a welfare meal down there underneath the sea.
It's good to have you back, Coulter. You look as well as ever.
And
Let me introduce you. This is Coulter, another of Spina di Rosula's members. He was found guilty and sentenced to the Fortress of Meripede sometime, but looking at it now, it was probably another one of Marcel's plots while he worked at the Confrérie of Cabrières.
Wait, Mr. Marcel? What do you...
Have you not heard anything at all about the water from the primordial sea case?
Well, I know that Fontaine got flooded, but then the water levels miraculously receded.
Oh, looks like we'll have to explain everything from the... First things first, let me introduce you to these two. They're my most trusted partners, and they've been with me through thick and thin. Now you could call them Spina di Rosula's VIP helpers.
Oh, nice to meet you. I don't recall Navia ever generously complimenting anyone like that before, so you must be pretty amazing to get that from her.
yeah, we are indeed pretty amazing. But we've been cool since before we even met her.
Humble again as always, I see. Even when I was totally sincere with my praise.
Nice. Spina di Rosula always seems to attract great people. Oh, that reminds me. Where are Malus and Sylvie?
About the...
Coulter, a lot of things happened while you were gone.
They lost their lives, keeping me safe during the flood.
What did you say? This isn't some kind of morbid welcome.
I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
Malus and Melissa. Dead. Malus. I was planning to give him...
Hey!
Malus and Coulter were friends for many years, and even served on many missions together during the early days of the Spina. I can understand how he feels.
Let's sit down somewhere, so I can tell you everything that has happened while you were gone.
Okay. All of this, it It's unbelievable. I can't believe that those stories were real. It all really happened.
I think you and I both feel the same way about...
I thought Mr. Marcel would always stand by the Spina. Everything he had, the Spina gave to him. It's unconscionable to have received all that, and yet still plot to kidnap and...
The good news is that the Confrérie of Cabriere is no more. Gone with them too is the entire synth manufacturing and distribution network. We finally closed the curtain on that long struggle.
Are you sure? But if Marcel wanted to rebel against us, he probably sent word in secret to Romeo.
Rome who?
Not in...
Florent should remember him. You see, there was once a major internal dispute regarding funding the construction of the Aquabus lines. Romeo was the leader of the faction that thought such a vast sum of mora would be better spent improving the town of Poisson. But Mr. Callis believed that an opportunity to collaborate with the court of Fontaine and the Fontaine, not only would the Aquabus be a good business investment, it would also boost our reputation among the... But the two couldn't come to an agreement. Romeo ended up taking a lot of people with...
And with Papa's stubbornness, I can...
And of course, when he was suffering the slings and arrows of outrageous injustice, those relationships that he spent a fortune to build didn't help in the least.
Yeah, you could say it was the price he paid for sticking to his beliefs.
Oh, that's a good point. If Callis was really as stubborn as you say, then wouldn't he have...
Oh yeah, it eventually became a thing that just happened on every day that ended with Y. But it used to be a lot better with taking counsel. With him listening to our advice, and Ms. Clementine also frequently on our side. But on the matter of the Aquabus, even Ms. Clementine completely stood by Mr. Callis' side.
I never knew. But from my...
I think the Aquabus was just the straw that broke the camel's back. They believed that Miss Clementine lost her ability to serve as an impartial mediator when she became...
So they thought she... But that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but to them, even taking a side was betrayal enough. They felt like their voices could no longer be heard. Once, of course, Ms. Clementine then passed away, and Mr. Callis began to regard the completion of the Aquabus project as her final wish. With that, the last hope of reconciliation was gone.
So that's what happened.
From that point on, Romeo and his people cut ties with the Spina, and never gave us any kind of professional or personal courtesy ever again. Perhaps they've regarded us as enemies ever since they left. But even so, there is still no proof that they ever acted in concert with Marcel.
I've also heard that they aren't in a good financial position, so they've been lying low for a while.
I think Coulter's got a point. Both Marcel and Romeo had my father in their sights for a very long... Even though Marcel's faction has been dissolved, we still don't know anything about Romeo's whereabouts. With how distracted and vulnerable we are.
Good thinking, boss. We should keep an eye on them at all times. I'll let my men know right...
Thank you for that, Florent. And Coulter, thank you for telling me about this as well.
Don't worry, it's nothing. Do you have a moment right now? I've heard so many incredulous things today. I'm finding it a bit hard...
In that case, why don't we go back to the court? I can pick up Adele's uniform while we're there as well. It'll... Want to come with me again, you two?
Of course. That's fine by me.
Then let's go! Paimon feels like a lot's hinging on this visit.
We really are the best of partners. It's nice to walk from time to time, isn't it? Think of it as something like a hiking trip. Once we're there, we can stay a few days before we return.
Sounds good. I haven't walked this road in a long time.
Well, we've walked far enough for now. Since we're out for a walk, we should...
I've grown old, so I'm not as fit as before. It's a good thing.
Well, Paimon thinks you're doing great. We didn't have to slow down for you at all.
Back in the days before the aquabus lines were built, we often had to hike north with our good. Malus and I must have traveled this way hundreds of times. When we were tired, we would lay down for a while on the grass, and when we were hungry, we'd catch a fish or two. The Spina was still on the rise back then. Mr. Callus was generous, and everyone had the chance to strike it rich. So, of course, we all worked really hard. And now, in the blink of an eye, the aquabus lines have been built, and this road has fallen into disuse. Oh, I know. I was just being a little nostalgic.
Then let's stay here a bit longer. Anyone want snacks?
Oh, is this another chance to try some of Navia's macarons? Paimon's been dreaming of them.
Yep, I figured you wouldn't say no to a few more. Oh, wait. Let me check if I have all the ingredients. Okay. The stoves. Seems like we're all out of flour and sugar. Oh, would you?
We should contribute to making the macaron too. Don't worry, we cook out in the wild all the time, so she should have some...
Oh, that's great.
Then I'll go look for some boxes nearby for,
Great. Then... Ah, how did it go? You've all done your part. Just leave the rest to me.
Whoa, these macarons look and taste magnificent!
Boss's baking skills have always been famous. Everyone in the Spina knows how exceptionally talented she is.
Oh, it's just a hobby. There's no need to praise me for it like that.
Have you two seriously never considered joining us? You're so close to the boss, and she obviously trusts you with all her heart, so... Was it that obvious? I just thought you would be a great fit, that's all.
You just happened to walk in on our little reunion. It's actually been quite a while since we last spent time together. Adventurers never stay in one place for long. The name of Spina di Rosula would just tie them down. Besides, after everything we've been through together, I'm sure our hearts would remain intertwined even if we found ourselves on opposite sides of the world.
Even if Paimon was far beyond the horizon, she'd still remember the delicious taste of Navia's macaron.
I understand now. Then I am very lucky indeed to have been graced with the chance to meet the two of you. I will endeavor to make the most of this short yet fortuitous encounter.
We've got no wine with us, but...
Cheers! Hey, what are you doing? Quick!
May your travels go smoothly. May the... All set? Let's move out then. I asked some old acquaintances in town to make Adele's uniform, so we should be able to pick it up right away. on us! Hey there, Ludovine. How's business lately?
The Demoiselle of Spina de Rosula. I must say, your generous patronage is the one thing keeping me from going bankrupt.
Nonsense. We all know what a talented businesswoman.
My mistake, my mistake. I just got so used to calling her Demoiselle. Are you here for the uniform?
Yep. I forgot to drop by earlier when I was running errands around here.
I didn't expect Demoiselle to come and pick it up in person. It's just a...
Navia's always liked to take even small things.
Hey, that's not the only reason I'm here. There are few things more uplifting than...
Boss has got a point. Going on a trip with friends is always better than staying cooped up at home.
Very well. Please, wait here while I retrieve the uniform for you.
Can someone remind Paimon again why Adele wants to join the Spina?
She hasn't given me any conk. After we cleared her father's name, she became a lot more cheerful and outgoing. She said she used to be terrified of Papa. But the Spina is very different now. She mustered up the courage to talk to me, and felt like I could really understand her. Yeah, you could say that. By uncovering the truth about the case, I was able to give her closure at the same time. She said that she wanted to become someone like me. Someone who could lend a hand to others, instead of standing still and waiting for others.
From the sound of it, she'll be a wonderful addition to the Spina.
I think so too. But for now, let's focus on giving her a great atmosphere to grow and thrive. She can commit to us once she's older, and can really make that decision for herself.
Is something up, Traveler? Huh? Tailing? Oh, but...
I'll go check it out too. Coulter, please hold on to this for me.
All right.
Paimon saw them too! They headed up!
Stop right there!
We knew you were going to be difficult!
Seems like if we want them to talk, we're gonna...
Brothers, there's no need to skulk in the dark anymore.
Feeling lucky? Be amazed!
Laid bare.
Now, talk. Who are you? And
Don't think we'll let you off easy if you keep silent.
How did it go, boss?
if you thought they stood any chance against us, you were sorely mistaken. Anyway, stop playing tough and start talking. There won't be any room for negotiation once the Maison Gardiennage gets involved.
We were looking to get... We were discovered, and can't beat you in a fight.
Get revenge?
You actually know that name? But if you do, then surely you should understand why we hate you so much!
Indeed. You haven't got the faintest...
We were out drinking when we saw Navia. We got so angry we decided to follow you guys. Too bad you guys messed up ours first. Huh? You're pretty sharp. But so what? We didn't do anything. Seeing you like that just really ticked us off.
Listen, Callus is long. I am the current president of Spina di Rosula. If I won't press charges for your attack, that should also help
I understand. Thank you. I'll let our boss know.
But if you so much as think about pulling something like this again, I won't be so lenient next time. Understood?
All right. We get it.
Are you sure it's okay to
I don't want to inherit my father's grudges, too. More if the other side is willing to talk.
I support Boss's decision as well. The concept of an eye...
Yes. Plus, I still think we should keep an eye out for Romeo's folks, though. If he decides to ignore the war, then we could still have a fight.
Yeah, those guys definitely didn't look like big...
I'd rather things not go that far, since...
Yep, that's how I feel as well. Anyway, now that we've sent them packing, we don't have to worry about those guys anymore. It's getting late already. So why don't we stay the night in the Fleuve Cendre? We can head back to Poisson tomorrow. I'll also ask someone to write Florent a letter and inform him of everything that happened here today.
Do we have to stay in the Fleuve Cendre again? Even the pillows there smell like seaweed.
Sorry, that's just what happens when you live near water and don't get much sunlight. Poisson's pretty much the same. We can still go out in the evening for some grilled fish and drinks, though. Bet you there'll be people singing sea shanties, too.
Huh. That does sound pretty cool. Okay, Paimon's on board now. Let's go! It would be kind of weird if the Spina's base at the court was some super luxurious building like the Palais Mermonia.
Totally. Right on the money, Paimon. Although, of course, with the continued growth of the Spina, Papa wanted Poisson to eventually grow into a metropolis, not unlike the court. He was a very ambitious man, who rarely looked behind or beneath him. For better or worse, that always made him stand out from the crowd.
And that's also why people hated him just as much as they loved him.
All right. Why don't you go wait for me at the restaurant? I'll go do some prep and I'll get someone to tidy up your room while I'm at it. You can use the same room as last time. You still remember the room number?
Yep. Kinda hard to forget when there are only so many rooms here after all.
Oh, did I just hear someone taking a dig at Fleuve Cendre? I'll tell my guys to stuff your pillows full of actual seaweed right now.
Oh, Paimon, sorry! Please have mercy, Navia. If you do that, then Paimon really won't be able to sleep at all.
I was just kidding. Be on your way now. Hello? Are you asleep yet? Oh, no, not at all. I just figured that since we don't get to enjoy, wanna go fishing? I've got some rods and lures.
Oh, so that's the prep you were talking about. Sure, we'll come.
Hopefully I didn't wake you or anything. I knew it. You really are my best partner. Okay, let's go. To the fishing spot.
fishing when you're using a fully automatic rod?
What's the problem? Lots of people in Poisson use rods like these.
But shouldn't fishing be all about, attentively watching?
Well, that's one way to enjoy fishing. What do you think, Traveler? That's how I feel.
Honestly, Paimon's mainly shocked at how much energy...
It might just be something that runs in my family.
That's a thing?
I'm sure you'd get even sleepier if I delved more deeply into it. Anyway, I was just thinking about how great... My father always had a lot of unrealistic expectations for me. My mother never had those kinds of expectations, though. All the members of the Spina greatly respected her wish, so no matter what I did as a child, they were happy to humor me. Can you imagine? Whenever my father wanted to scold me for something I'd done, everyone would form up into 2 rows and just stand silently and listen to him rant. Melusans, no matter what Papa yelled, nobody else would say a word. Eventually, Papa must have recognized scold...
Paimon would have never guessed.
Yeah, when I was young, but once, I saw Malus come back wounded. He wouldn't tell me how he'd been. I learned then that there's always a cost to making a mistake. The more you care about those around you, the more you should care about doing the right thing to the best of your abilities. Because if you do falter, there'll inevitably come a time when you'll have to face the consequences. Sorry. I shouldn't have brought that up. I wasn't planning to talk about sad things tonight. Basically, I was just saying that the nurturing atmosphere of the Spina must have been my mother's legacy, rather than my father's. And if that's the only way that I can continue to feel her love, then I'd like to pass that warmth on.
Is that why you let those guys go today?
Although, maybe they're... Hey, look! I think you've got something on the line!
But why isn't there...
Oh, there must be something wrong with how... We can't let it get away. Come on, you two. Let's catch it.
You want Paimon to help too?
Stop wasting time! The boss ain't gonna wait all day! We'll go ahead with the operation tomorrow. Do with that information as you wish.
Well, your rod was missing a part, too.
Well, if we're just talking about the...
All right. So how was that?
Paimon dreamt that she danced with the sea stars, so you could sail.
Huh.
I didn't know you had such a great sense of humor.
See? This guy gets it.
Anyway, let's head out.
Paimon hopes she'll really
I hope so, too. We're back! We brought you a gift from the court, too.
Whoa! Thank you so much, boss!
Don't call her boss, okay, Adele? Just Miss Navia would be...
Oh, it's all right. I don't mind.
It's been a while!
Oh, it's you two. I've heard that you also helped save all of Fontaine. You're truly just like the great heroes of legend.
You're really amazing! And if Miss Navia's your friend, then she must be super amazing too! What's in this thing?
Of course!
Oh, it's a Spina di Rosu.
Well, it's a gift for future you. But it's the Spina's responsibility to protect everyone as well. Being a member means becoming involved in all. So I turned you down then by telling you that.
Oh, so that's it! Well, thank you so much, Miss Navia.
But you can't really grow up faster by working hard. You've got to be patient.
Everyone, I'm really grateful that you were thanks to the protection of the Spina. Even though her father's no longer with us, we've still felt plenty of warmth and security.
Oh, it's the least we could do. As long as...
Boss!
Huh? Is something up, Florent?
I've got something urgent to report. Romeu and his folks have gathered...
What?
It seems like they've been planning this for some time. We started investigating, but Romeu and his folks must have gotten wind as well. Because we investigated their tracks and found out that they're...
Could they have smartened up since we caught them red-handed?
Seems like they've got no interest in sitting down and talking at all.
Sorry, I underestimated...
On the hill to the east of Poisson, near the Clementine line.
They want to blow up the Clementine line?
Certainly sounds like it.
Romeu and his followers hate the Spina, and everything to do with Callus. If they manage to blow up the Aquabus line...
Are they insane? There's tons of innocent people...
Yeah. If they've been planning this for ages, they're definitely... We have to issue an evacuation order to the townspeople.
Let's get everyone onto our ship. That's...
My dear partner, can I leave the Clementine line to... If the explosives do go off, not only would the people of Poisson be... Let's stop their insanity first. Then settle the score with them.
Leave it to us, Navia. Please stay safe, too.
Let's go, you two. We've got to act fast. Miss Coralie, please take Adele to the ship.
Watch out, boss! What do you think you're doing, Coulter?
I thought all the annoying little hindrances had left, but I still couldn't get rid of you.
You mean... Oh... I get it now.
Not quite. Though I share their positions on some issues, and that's because out of the entire Spina di Rosula...
You better stick close to me.
Romeu promised me that he would leave Poisson alone if I could just take you out. But it was like you were glued at the hip to that pesky traveler. You never gave me a chance to make my... Romeu has lost his patience. I didn't have to be here today, you know. But I swore that I'd kill you.
Why?
Only someone as clueless about the past as you would ask such a foolish question. You never saw the heyday of Spina di Rosula, nor did you ever live through the golden age of Poisson. But I saw it all with my own, and it was all because of you, Navia. Clementine died because of you. Callus died because of you. Malus and Silver died because of you. And so many more dead. Everyone dead. All...
So the shock and grief you showed us before, that was in Act 2?
Now you're catching on. I heard Malus was dead the moment... Did you know? Down there in that blasted fortress, I spent a long time thinking about what happened. Back then, because of that aquabus, we had a huge fallout. The years passed by in a blur after that. I thought I had finally begun to understand him, and that he could help me relive the good old days again. But then he died, and it was because of you again, Navia. It's always because of you. I once loved the Spina and Poisson more than anyone else. But what is left now of either besides death and ruin? You've single-handedly destroyed...
Don't listen to him, boss! He's just spouting nonsense!
Have you ever considered that maybe the people around you don't actually care about you at all? Have you ever considered that maybe you only get respect because you're Callus and Clementine's child? That you've never done anything worthy? That you're just a big nothing? Have you ever considered that maybe people don't stay in Poisson because of you, but only because they have such beautiful memories of the past?
Because if you do falter, there'll inevitably come a time when you'll have to face the consequences. And yeah, but is that...
Shut your mouth! I, for one, really like Miss Nuff. I don't know how to explain it, but I like her, and that's that.
I'm sure Mr. Malus would be extremely disappointed in you right now. You've somehow managed to pin the blame for every mistake and tragedy in our history on the boss herself.
Get out of the way, Florent. I don't want to hurt you.
You're gonna have to. Boss, there's no time for this. Stop hesitating and get...
Maybe you think you're being, but the love that I felt from everyone was just as real. And even now, I will continue to believe in that love. So let me show you just how much I love this.
Hey there! Coming at ya! Hey there! Fire! Well, with rocks. Ha! Hey there!
Laurent, I'll leave the town to you. Summon the other members, and if you find any of Coulter's accomplices, subdue them quickly. I can't allow my partner to face the danger on the Clementine line alone.
Got it, boss. I'm on it. Are you okay, Navia?
I don't know, but I have to go.
Let's hurry up there! We have to protect the Clement. If they're gonna blow up the waterway, they must have planned.
Witness the power of Gurwa! Overruled!
Witness my rise. Laid bare.
They certainly brought a lot of muscle. They're really slowing us down. But if we're meeting resistance, we must be heading in the right direction.
Teamwork is strength! Let the magic begin! Ring cutter!
These must be the explosives, right? And this is the control mechanism. How can we disable it? Oh, Paimon's too scared to touch any of this stuff. Huh? There's a strangely shaped hole here. What? Oh, that certainly sounds possible. Okay, you take this side, Paimon will take... Let me turn this guy over. He's super heavy. Let me turn this guy over. He's super heavy. Oh, you found it! That's amazing! That should do it, right? Navia and Florent should be able to relax now. Oh, you're right. They're gonna bury Poisson!
Just leave the rest to me.
Watch out, Navia! You can't block them all!
Block? I'm doing this the Spina way.
I heard from Thierry that even they're your enemies now. They were once a part of Spina di Rosula. Do you plan to settle this privately with them?
I have nothing more to say to them. Regardless of whether their hatred and anger towards me or the Spina was justified. Anyone who's willing to endanger innocent civilians is please prosecute them in accordance to the law.
Sounds good. We're very appreciative of your help. Without it, the consequences would have been far worse. All right, this operation is a wrap. Take him away.
We won, Navia! We saved everyone! And you were so cool!
Yeah. Luckily, we were just in... It's probably because I expended too much elemental energy at once. I'll be fine.
But you usually glow up whenever other people...
Boss, we managed to catch all the infiltrators in the town. The Maison Gardiennage is taking them away as well. Seems like Romeu really went all in on this mission. If he sent literally everyone he had, though, that also means we've caught them all, too.
Got it. That's good, at least. Coulter, I can understand how you feel. The things that we lost, they're forever beyond our grasp now. I am not callous, and I will also never become him. The Spina and the Poisson that you loved are both gone. But I will not change how I feel about our future. I will spend more of what the Spina earns on the betterment of Poisson. What's more, I'd also like to propose some changes to the aquabus routes, so that one day, the people of Poisson will enjoy the boons it brings as well.
I know what you're trying to say. Mr. Callus would never have said anything like that. There are too many things in life that are just beyond our control. In that, we are the same.
Henceforth, you are no longer a member, but once you're discharged from the fortress again.
Thank you, Navia.
As I thought. Boss really is a kind and gentle person.
She is also, I must say. Thank you for protecting the Clementine line. I was actually really scared, you know. I mean, even the Callus line won't be getting rebuilt anytime. If I'd lost the Clementine line too, I wouldn't know how to... A name is a way to etch a memory onto the world. Losing the line that bears her name, that I can see every day, would be like losing my mother all over again. Seeing it still standing there, tall and proud, it makes me really happy.
What happened while we were gone?
Just give her some time.
Thank you so much. Can you give me a hand? I really don't have much strength left. Traveler, I want to ask you something. And please, tell me the truth. Do you really see me as your partner?
Of course.
That's good then. Hearing that, it brings me more relief than I can say.
How do you feel, Navia? Any better after taking a break?
I feel quite a bit better. But I should probably still rest. Sorry, partner. I said some weird things earlier. I used to think that I'd never doubt myself. Coulter mentioned my parents. Do you think...
Don't think like that, Navia. You've already done more than enough. No matter what others think, we'll always support you to the end of the world.
Well, since it's ended up like this, there's something that I've been keeping from you as well, boss.
Florent, I hope you can understand that I can't...
Don't worry. This surprise will be a pleasure.
We rented this house from one of the locals to use as a temporary base.
Awesome!
Well, with this many people...
Okay, well, they're all sorts, but now that we've...
Well, you're more...
Why is everyone gathered here? And what's...
This was supposed to be a gift to you from everyone in the town. We were originally planning to show, but special times call for special... Well, if you're ready, I'll unveil the...
This Papa, Mother, and me.
We designed the look for Miss Clementine based on old camera records, as well as personal recollection.
Wow! This is the statue you mentioned before?
It is indeed. To be honest, we decided on the design a long time ago, and gave the sculptor permission to begin working. We only asked Boss to decide on a design so she wouldn't realize we had already started.
How could we only have statues of Mr. Callus and Mrs. Clementine?
Even though Boss is still young, we've all seen the work she's put in regarding the whole sin.
We wanted to commemorate her contributions with a statue as well.
I don't know what Spina di Rosula was like in the past, but I know...
With Navia around, we're not worried about this place's future.
We're gathered here today to tell our boss that we support you and believe in you wholeheartedly. I believe everyone is here for you, not the glory days.
That's what we believe as well!
Thank you so much, everyone. Then I'll be brave and just accept everyone's support for what it is. This really is quite the surprise. I never thought that I'd have the chance to stand next to my mother. Seems like I started to question myself a bit too much. I'll pick myself up again, and looking back on it, I'm honestly embarrassed by how I acted earlier. I've thought about it before. Though my mother only wanted me to live a happy life, that's actually a tall order as well. In practice, it's just as hard to achieve. Even though my parents had very different personalities, the Aquabus project was a monumental project that stood to benefit all of Fontaine. It would have been I think that's probably why she didn't step in to mediate, or